Hi, this is Dr. Kwun calling from the surgery. Can I check who's speaking, please?
Yes, so my name is Kate Jones.
Are you the mom of Caden?
Yeah.
Can I confirm his age, please?
So he is 9 weeks old.
Great. Congratulations. How was it?
He's good. He's just a joy, growing well. Just happy baby. Um,
Great.
yes.
So is this the first time you had a child?
It is. It is my first one.
Okay. Well, I'm glad things are going well. How can I help today?
So basically, I've been in a practice recently, and the nurse commented that Caden needs to get his jab, but I don't want him to get vaccinated. So that's why I wanted to set this appointment just to chat about it.
Well, you've done the right thing, and I'm glad that you decided that you want to have a bit more information and talk about it. Tell me about your concern about vaccine and
So basically, I'm just worried about potential side effects of the vaccine, because in my family, my nephew, he's 7, and he was recently diagnosed with autism, and he had just his MMR vaccine. So obviously, that got me thinking, is there no link? Because I read some articles that there is a link between the vaccines and autism in children, and of course, this is something I would not want Caden to get.
I see where you're coming from, and I will have a chat with you about the evidence on this because there has been a lot of things that's been saying there is link between autism and MMR. However, we don't know of any credited evidence about this, but we can have a chat about it in a moment. Now, in terms of vaccine, how much do you know about how it works?
Well, so I know that vaccines are there to prevent some serious illnesses, but at the same time, for example, my other sister, she has a daughter, and she is doing great, and she never was vaccinated. So it's not something that you have to have as a child or even like an adult.
I see, yeah. So yeah, some parents choose not to have their child to have immunization, and it is worth considering the risk of not having vaccination as well. So from what I'm hearing, you're quite worried about this link, and also you're thinking that not having the vaccine would be possibly something that you could choose because your sister has not vaccinated her child.
Yeah.
Have you had a chat with your partner about it?
Yeah, so me and my partner, we are in agreement on this topic. He's also quite reluctant towards getting Caden vaccinated. Um, and yeah, we know we try to read more articles about it. Like, another worry of ours is that we read that vaccines do have aluminium, which is banned, and it's not something that we want Caden to be injected with.
I see. I think you've got very valid questions, and I'm glad that you brought that up as well. So, aluminum is one of the ingredients that could be found in vaccine, and the reason why aluminum is actually part of it in very, very small dose is because it stimulates the immune system, and when the aluminum is there, it actually creates longer lasting immunity for the child. That's the reason. And aluminum is found in food that we eat, drinking water, and it's not known to cause any problem in vaccine. So, vaccine go through rigorous testing before it is allowed to be used in children. And there have been links with autism in the past that has been brought up, and things like that can create a lot of anxiety among parents. However, there has been extensive research on the vaccines, MMR vaccine, and it has not shown any cause of autism or triggered autism at all. So I can reassure you that there is no accredited evidence to show that vaccine cause autism.
I guess, that articles on either sides, right? But another thing I wanted to ask about is thing I've read about potential brain injury that the vaccines can cause. So I was wondering, what is your experience as a doctor?
Okay, but it's good that you are asking these questions. So where did you read that information from, Kate?
So we basically were looking on some articles, medical articles on the internet. We just,
Hmm.
put the topic about the side effects, and that would come up.
Yeah. So, brain injury is not one of the side effects that will be caused by vaccine. Vaccines can cause mild side effects such as fever. It could cause soreness at the site of the injection, or sometimes it could cause a child to have temperature, and this is why we usually ask them to give Calpol. But vaccine is safe, and it's not going to cause harm to your child. Um, in fact, it's going to be the opposite. The reason why we encourage parents to have their children to be immunized is because it's going to protect your child against very serious, deadly diseases. There are various diseases such as polio, measles, and mumps. That's quite nasty. That's the reason why we have the immunization.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, it's not something that you hear a lot about those diseases. Like, I don't know people who've been ill with them.
So you're right. So the reason why you don't hear these diseases nowadays is because of the success of immunization. So when children are immunized, then they don't have these diseases because their immune system has been prepared to fight off infections. And then when they are in contact with these diseases, then they don't develop anything serious. Whereas if a child is not immunized, then the child is at higher risk of developing serious complication from a disease. So, for example, we have seen a rise of measles and mumps because there has been some parents who have decided not to have their children immunized. So there is a rise in these diseases coming back. That's why it's really important to consider the benefits of vaccination to protect your child and also protect the community as well. The more children is immunized, then the effect of what we call herd immunity is going to protect the community.
I mean, I don't know. I would have to speak to my partner more about it anyway. It's not something that I can decide just by myself.
Absolutely. I can see that you would like to do the best for Caden, and then you would like to make sure that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, I think as a new mom, it's really important to do the best for your child. I want to make sure that you understand the benefits and the consequence of not having the vaccine as well. Because when we think about immunization, the benefit outweigh the risk and any consequences. And previous uh, articles about the link can cause a lot of parents to have this hesitancy. However, the updated research on this has not shown any link whatsoever between vaccine and autism. So that's really important to put emphasis on. Have you got any other questions at all, Kate?
Mm, I guess not at the moment. I mean, thank you for this appointment and for explaining. Um, I would just need to speak to Tom, my partner, and yeah, see what he thinks as well.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if it might help, I could offer you more resources about vaccine, how it works, its safety, and then the process that a vaccine goes through before it is allowed to be used. And that might be something that reassure you. It's very important to use validated, trustworthy information, because sometimes on social media, online, you might see various things that could be misleading, and there'll be a lot of misinformation about vaccine as well. Is this something that you'd like to have?
Yeah, yeah, why not? If you can send over, then we can both have a look through it.
Yeah, so I suggest have a look through the information. It's really useful to go through it. And then if you do have questions or anything else that you want to ask, then feel free to get in touch again with me, and then we can go over it. And then if there's any doubts, I want to make sure that you have clarity so that you can make an informed decision.
Okay, yeah. No, thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Take care. Are you feeling anxious about the SCA preparation? Maybe you're not getting constructive feedback, you don't know whether you're doing the right thing. If you're looking for one-to-one support, I'd love to help you. Click the link down in the description below to book a call with me to see how I can help you to pass your exam.
I'm Dr Reddy, and I'm a GPST 3 in the Northwest area. And so in terms of my journey, I did the AKT in the April of last year. I was kind of planning to do the SCA in September. That was my initial planning. Started looking at what to do, and so I looked at the website, the LCW website, and I felt a bit lost. And it wasn't that there was already a few sittings had already taken place, so there was other trainees that had already done this, and I was expecting a bit more in terms of guidance, and I still felt like I was one of the first few, even though I wasn't at that point, because obviously this was just in May when I got the results. So I was like looking for various different resources out there, and I didn't know whether to go back and use the books like the Emily Bart book and just use that to which I know has been tried and tested and has worked for others. So I kind of was a bit haphazard in some ways, and then I'd come across yourself and a few other different resources, and it's actually some of the videos that you've released in the past have actually drawn me in, and it was some of the explanations that others have said, this is what's worked for me, and those that sometimes have failed the exam beforehand, where I wasn't in that position, thankfully. So when I was looking at the website and what resources were available, I chose to go to do the one-to-one. I mean, I did deliberate over it, don't get me wrong, like most trainees, and with the cost of living at the moment, it is quite an expense. And for me, the deciding factor was that I hesitated, but I was like, no, this is an investment in me, and I deserve this investment. And I didn't want to sit the exam the second time round, and I was prepared to put the money first and say, no, I'm going to do this, and I'm doing this for me, because if I fail and have to do the exam, then it's another expense. I'd rather spend it now up front, knowing that I don't have to do the exam another time. So just for those that are probably deliberating over it, by all means do that. Make sure the sums add up for you, but it's definitely worth thinking about and investing.